actually just did the autopsy and they didn't find the bullets.
They did not hit bullets?
The autopsy was conducted, I believe, on Monday. And at that autopsy, as is required, they did recover some bullets, as I understand. And anything beyond that, I'm not going to comment on the evidence that's in the case.
Have you discussed about gang relations yet?
We, obviously are looking at all of his associates to determine whether or not this was something that other people were involved in. So at this point, I'm not really at liberty to talk about what we've disclosed or discovered.
And what about all the other charges that were brought up today? The
other charges brought up today were charges that were pending. Apparently, he had not appeared on a relatively minor offense for possession of what they call dum-dum bullets. And the second charge rose out of a charge alleging that he had possession of a weapon and hollow point bullets, and that came out of, as I understand it, a raid or a search and execution of a search warrant that occurred in September of '09, and it was not until recently that we established probable cause to connect him with possession of that, totally independent, obviously, of these charges. So those charges were filed in December and were pending against him when this incident occurred, and we identified him as a suspect in the connection with the murder of Officer Matlos.
Do we know any more about the stop itself and why it was made?
No, right at this point we're still trying to piece together all of those details, and I'm not going to discuss the contents of statements or evidence that's pending before.
His arrest in July, for which he's under
Why else gotta keep your head down?
Particulars of that?
Thank you.
It wasn't the July. It was a search warrant, as I understand.
That was another search.
That was a search warrant, and that was where the weapon came out of. That's what I was told. Anyway.
Making any progress in terms of accomplices?
No, not a weapon. There's a totally different issue. There's
it's like the charge of just the hollow point bullets.
The hollow point bullets were as a result of an execution of a search warrant, and he was connected with them more recently. Now, I have not seen the complaint on that charge yet, but that's the one that they indicated. Apparently, he had failed to appear before Judge Waters on that.
Are you making any progress finding any alleged accomplices?
We are obviously still conducting our investigation, interviewing people, and we encourage the public who has any knowledge of people who are associated with him to also bring that to our attention.
What can you tell us about the security here today?
Anytime there is a case like this, there's heightened security, and there was a significant presence of Sheriff's Department and security, but they do this anytime there's a high-profile case before the court.
Prosecutor, can you talk a little bit about the intelligence that some gang members in Lakewood that has been put out to police, that the police need to be on the alert for possible retaliation?
The murder of Officer Matlos indicates that regardless of whether or not there were rumors abounding, that the job of being a police officer is particularly dangerous and that they should always be on high alert. So obviously there are some rumors that are going around when a case like this occurs. There's a tremendous amount of statements, some which are very helpful and some which lead us on wild goose chases. So at this point, I can only indicate that we have not verified any specific threat upon law enforcement, but obviously, like all the rumors, we are taking them all seriously into consideration.
And your advice to a police officer at this point?
I think that any police officer should, at all times, regardless of this incident, be on high alert because obviously they are a target of a violent act, and that's unfortunately what happened to Chris Matthews.
Has there been a weapon located for this crime?
I wouldn't comment on that.
And what's next? Next court date or next steps?
The next court date will be, as Judge Daniels indicated, that there will be an informal bail review, which is not a court date. It's usually done within 24 hours by the court, whether or not to continue the bail at $5 million, and that there will be, within 14 days, a formal bail review scheduled, at which point in time the court will consider any application to modify, reduce, or attach conditions to bail.
Do you think $5 million is appropriate?
It's what the judge said in this particular case. It's not for me to determine whether or not it's appropriate. We will ask to continue the bail.
And does he have any representation yet?
He's represented by the Public Defender's Office. As Judge Daniels indicated, he may be considering bringing private representation in, but As you can see, he's ably represented by the Public Defender's Office, who are quite experienced in handling these types of cases.
Can you
Can you say
characterize
anything
the
why
move?
he was targeted by not one but two search warrants?
I don't know what the circumstances are with that, and whether or not he was a target. I mean, a search warrant is usually on a location, and he could have just been there. As I understand, the reason that the charges were not filed immediately against him was that there were a number of people that were present when this, illegal guns and ammunition were collected. Okay.
Can you characterize
Thank you.
the mood of the investigative team? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
See this through, it's a great loss for us. And then we're glad that we brought somebody and got them into the next stage of the justice system. Nothing can make up for the loss that we're suffering. And that's why we're here.
And you said funeral arrangements. You were meeting today discussing for Thursday.
Yes, there will be a viewing tomorrow afternoon, I believe from 4 to 9. And the interment will actually be Thursday, I believe around noontime. We'll start the proceedings.
And the message that you wanted to send today by having so many officers in court?
Well, we're here to support Chris. And to show that we will not tolerate this, and that we're going to take this to the end.
Can you just tell us your first and last name just so we have it?
Sorry?
Can you just tell us your first and last name and spell them just so we have it for...
It's Lieutenant Paul Daly, D-A-L-Y.
Lieutenant, what was it like to be in the same courtroom as a man accused of killing your colleague?
Not easy, but again, we're happy to see that this case is going to move along, that he's been brought to the next phase of the justice system, and hopefully the outcome will be what it should be.
Can I just have your name one more time, your title, where you're from?
It's Lieutenant Paul Daly, D-A-L-Y. It's Lakewood Police Department.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. I'm not going to
Well, it's very tough. I just recently retired from the Lakewood Police Department less than 3 weeks ago, and but I needed to be here for the guys. And it was very tough seeing the defendant standing there, because I believe at one time he might even have a little smirk on his face, and that hit home. That's all I can say.
I think he mouthed "I love you" to, I don't know who it was sitting in the audience there.
I have no idea who he might have been saying that to either.
But pretty galling to be in the same room with him? Or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have our own feelings, and it's just not a good day for Lakewood Police Department in the state of New Jersey.
Tell me your name, sir.
Retired Detective Sergeant John Stillwell.